That's the reason why I said God has a reason for making me choose the topic that I chose. I got to my other office around 6:30 yesterday, around 6:30, and I was watching the CNN, and something popped up. It didn't take me time to know that yes, this will help me drive home my point. Can you please flip to the other? Yes. Now, look at this. I have to take a snapshot of this from the screen, from the TV. That name you see there, Rajiv Shah, is an Indian. Look at his position. He's the president of Rockefeller Foundation. That is a legacy that has grown even the owners so much that a nation can become the CEO of this foundation. Rockefeller didn't wake up to see money. He started the way we have all started. He didn't come from a rich background, but he had the mentality of wealth creation from day one, and he started doing business with God from day one. So from the little that he had, he was doing charity, he was supporting the works of God. And as the money grows, it's like doing business with God. It's like doing business with God. So, it is important that we build a positive legacy. And for obvious reasons. Number one, legacy building is a participation in the ongoing foundation of life. What does that mean? It means that, let me tell you a story. There was one retired Air Force officer. When they were celebrating his retirement, there was another junior officer that was by his side. This guy has fought so many wars. And on one of those occasions where the ceremony was going on, he was about passing the side of this junior officer, and the junior officer stood up and gave him a salute and appreciated him for meritorious service. Then he reminded him of something. He said, "Sir, all the while they were going for war, I was the one dedicated to part of parachute." I don't know whether you get this. Wait. Parachute is what pilots wear when they're in there, in case there's something wrong with the plane and they have to eject themselves from it. The parachute comes out like an umbrella, and they will drop gently. Now imagine if that guy had not done his part well. Maybe the senior officer wouldn't have been there to be celebrated in the first place. That's exactly where we're going. So when you have that mentality of being part of the foundation, then you are the part of building the legacy. Because now you are not thinking about yourself anymore. Number two, your legacy can have a powerful ripple effect. There is no way you start something like that it will not rub off. If you look at the generations of Rockefeller, from the Rockefeller senior, we had some other generations after that. Of course, between there, when he died and now, is about 84 years. So you can imagine the number of generations that will fit into that space. They have never departed from what the foundation their father laid on ground. So that ripple effect goes on like that. And even as parents, we take care of our kids. If you take care of them well, they won't depart from the ways that you have taught them. And they themselves will also pass it. It's so amazing that you see some adverts now, some advertisement, they keep talking about using that when my mother used to use these products. I'm trying to remember. I guess Maggi does that too, or one of those food and nutrition industries. Try to leverage on the ripple effect from the parents. Number 3, building a positive legacy likely involves selflessness. Very true. It involves selflessness. That's, you think beyond yourself. You see, when you allow your thoughts to revolve around you, your depth of knowledge is shallow. Because in the first place, God created this world and put man there to dominate and maintain, and by extension, give account of stewardship. So, you can't afford to be selfless in your thoughts, in everything that you do. You can't afford to be selfless. Now, let me I want to debate a bit. I'm taking legacy from a wealth perspective. From a wealth perspective. There are 3 phases of building your legacy. Phase 1, we call it the leverage. The leverage. Phase 2, we call it the growth stage. And stage 3, we call it the wealth stage. The difference between leverage and the wealth is that at the wealth point, at that region of wealth, there is permanency. That means the wealth is more permanent. It's only when your wealth is permanent that it becomes a legacy. That's when it can be transferred from generation to another. But when you are still at the leverage stage, you are the only one enjoying your money. So, but as we continue, I want us to begin to reappraise ourselves as employees, as businessmen. Think about your business, that thing that you do on a daily basis. Where do you belong? Are you at phase 1 or phase 2 or phase 3? Because it's a progression really. There's a science to it. Phase 1 of it, which I call the leverage stage, what are the attributes? What are the common characteristics of what happens there? If you look at that picture very well, you see that someone is standing on a bench and is able to lift something bigger. That means, 1, you have a low startup cost. A low startup cost. Number 2, you can easily turn it to money quickly. You can easily make money out of it. Number 3, you can actually grow that business. As much as you are starting with a small capital, you can grow it. Let's take for example, if I come here, let's say I sell merchandising, I sell clothes, for example, and if I come to meet you today, let's say I meet Pastor Mike, I say, Pastor Mike, I have a nice shirt to sell, and he buys it from me today. He's likely not going to be my next customer. Why? Because that shirt is expected to last for so long. So I will have to look for another customer to buy that shirt, to buy for me again. As much as I can easily make money from that, I go to Island, buy something, bring to church, sell. I make money. Low startup. The day you have more money, You can buy more goods, you come and sell. But again, the question is, you have to be conscious in your thoughts that, okay, as I make this money, I don't need to rely on this buying and selling. Can I plow this money into something that will generate growth? We'll get to that place. You see, the mentality I'm trying to create is such that you can see how you make money as a process. And you'll be moving from one process to another. And as you do that, you will see your money grow. But you need to first take that knowledge and appreciate what I'm saying. So, what are the kind of businesses that fall under the phase one? That's the income creation. Under the digital businesses that you can do, you have leverage internet. You can develop. If you know you are very good at something, if you're a storyteller or whatever, what have you can start with a blog. If you are a trainer, you can have a webinar. You can package webinars for people to log in. They pay certain amount to you. When I wanted to learn how to do CAC registration, because we're made to understand that only lawyers and accountants can register companies. So I saw it as an opportunity that now the accountants can do it. So, but I needed to know how it was done. I paid to attend the webinar, I paid 10,000 naira, organized by another fellow accountant, because he has a knowledge that I don't have. And I'm ready to pay for it, because I need that knowledge. That's exactly what we're talking about here. Nobody has repository of knowledge. So there are every human being that God has created, He has given you a gift that somebody needs. You only need to change your mindset and say, this gift that I have, who needs it out there? How do I explore it? How can I make a difference in somebody's life? And the people will be ready, they will be willing to pay for it. So another kind of business that you can do under the digital is affiliate marketing. I don't have much time to dwell on each of them. But for the ones that I call offline businesses, there are things like getting franchise. And when you say franchise, that means you already have a company that has a name. They are willing to allow you to run on their identity. Like Mr. Biggs used to do that. You know, most of the Mr. Biggs you see, they actually run on franchise. Not only that, now you see Slot is also running on franchise. The guy has grown that business to a point that now he licenses people to run his own business, to run that business. By so doing, you won't go through the headache of having to grow your business to a point where people will know you. Then you have network marketing. There are so many of them out there. Long reach, forever living, and things like that. Because those kind of businesses, like I said, remember, there are no startup costs, and you can scale up. The day you sell one long reach, you make your money. The day you sell two, you make your money. So it's more or less like pay as you go. And that's why we say it's also scalable. But those kind of businesses, they are just to generate immediate income. And the moment you have generated immediate income, we are moving to phase 2. Phase 2, that is the growth stage or the stable stage. At this point, you are now beginning to look at it and like, okay, I've made initial money. How can I let this money also do some work for me? When I came this morning, I was excited when I saw the generator out there. And I'm like, this is good. We thank God for that. In my mind, I was thinking, I said, I'm waiting for somebody that will now say, sir, can I sign a maintenance agreement for this jail? I will be coming regularly to be paid. Just be paying me retainers and for the spares when I have to change some spares. The church has gone to a point where those kind of structures have to be in place. Not that when it's broken, when it has broken down, that's when we want to do from who's going to fix it. No. And when somebody comes there to give us that kind of service, to sign retainers like that, it's beginning to make money. And that's a steady income. If you sign him up for 1 year, that's a steady income for that person for 1 year on one generator. If he has another place to go to and say, sir, can I also have retainers for this your ACs? You understand? This is the way we should be wired. How can you multiply that business that you are doing? That's the only way to grow. Otherwise, it will not go. It won't go beyond the level of what I make is I consume it and I can't remember the third party. So under the growth stage, if you look at the digital businesses that fall there, we are looking at digital marketing services. There are so many people now. There's a lady in my office. She does outdoor service, catering services. But she took it to another level. And I said, what happened? On Instagram, her profile is Come Back Foods. They call it Come Back Foods. The first time she shared the idea with me, I told her that I want you to use the digital platform, online platform, to market this thing. She said she was already working on it. As a matter of fact, she paid so much to a digital marketer. I guess she paid close to like 300,000 just to run campaign for her. And when you say campaign, it's just taking pictures of the various things they do on a daily basis with a very good background and posting it on social media pages and boosting it as well. That guy has made 300,000 on that person. And that is not the only customer he will likely be dealing with, because when your works are good, people will come for you. When the works of your hand, they are good. The way Bible will say, if you are diligent in what you do, people will look for you. So, those are the kind of businesses we're talking about here. There are so many people, they say they run a business, they have a website, and people are not visiting it. We have some people that can help you optimize your page and create more traffic to the place. For the offline, don't let them do too much on the digital. For the offline, we have services with recurring or contractual uses. What do I say here? We are looking at the kind of jobs that will make people say, okay, we'll be paying you on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis. I mentioned it earlier, like legal services now. There are some people, you see, if you need the services of a lawyer and you approach one for the first time, that's when you will appreciate why you must have a lawyer on retainer. Because they will so bill you, because they know you will come back again. And that is the reason why some organizations, even some families that know their onions, and by virtue of the kind of business they do, they have what we call family lawyers and they place them on retainers. It doesn't necessarily mean that there will be case. No. That may not be the case for a whole year. But he earns that money. And all he needs to count is, if I have, when you see those people in this category that I'm talking about, All they do is, they say if I can just have 10 clients, I'm okay for the year. They are made because they know the steady form of money coming in. For the guys that know how to write books very well, who says you can't write your books? You can either sell it physically or sell it online. And amazingly, one thing with book authoring the book, is that the moment you put it in that space, in that social media space, you don't need to bother your head. The people that will buy will be buying, and if you continue to earn the revenue income from that you put there for the rest of your life. That's permanency. There's nothing anybody can do about it. Nobody will remove it until you decide to say, okay, I don't want it there anymore. What service do you know how to do? You can freelance. Your spare time, what do you use it for? What is that gift God has given you? How can you translate it to money? How can you bless people? That is the growth stage. And the moment you begin, because you see the good thing about it is the growth stage allows you to move from the level of income, that's survival, to a point where you are being strategic about how to make more money. And from that phase 2, you now move to phase 3, which is, okay, how can I make it more permanent? That's the word stage. And these are the areas you begin to think and like, okay, there's a property I think I need to buy at, that's how you'll be reasoning at this point, at Lekki Free Trade Zone. That area is the papa of the future. And as a matter of fact, I'm saying it for free now. They still sell land in that axis. You see, between Ekpe and Lakapai, there are still lands of 600,000, and they will still spread the payment. For the people staying here, you'll be wondering in your head, what am I looking for in that area? But I'm telling you, that is their papa of tomorrow. Can you begin to say, okay, can I put some permanency to my investment? Can I begin to tie money into real estate? What kind of bankable insurance are you doing? Are you online insurance? Somebody came to my office 2 days ago to market insurance product to me, and I looked at it. I said, okay, before you say this, let me tell you my age. If you know my age, then you can profile whatever you want to profile. So the guy now said, okay, I will send something to your bot. So it was sent to my bot yesterday. And I looked at it. I know what the plan. He said, sir, you are 54 now. You'll be 54 very soon. He said, you can either do 65-year plan. That is, at 65, you get your sum assured, or at 70, whichever one you want. And I said, okay, at 65, that means I'll be paying 48,000 naira per month, which is about roughly 500 plus in a year. And I look at it, 48,000 naira. If you know some of the things, how you spend your money without knowing how you spend it, 48,000 naira is something that you can actually afford. I was saying to myself, so after I reviewed it, and what was the whole plan? If I pay 48,000 naira between now and when I clock 65, that will amount to like 7.something million. But I will be able to collect 10 million at that time. Now, mind you, at 65, I may not be as strong as I am. However, but because I've taken a strategic decision that, okay, I will need a push when I get to that level. So I already had that plan. It was sent to me yesterday, and I've told the person, please bring the form on Monday so that I can fill it, and we'll start. We need to be strategic in our thoughts. Because if you don't do it, nobody will do it for you. And we will have failed God because we were selfish in our thoughts. So as we go about our anniversary, have it at the back of your mind, reflect over it, what we have talked about. Whatever business you think you are doing at the moment, look at how you can transform it to the next level. And as you do that, God will help us in Jesus' name.